guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming with another video review. And on today's episode, we're doing something really fun. You are not going to want to miss any of this video. Today we're taking an early look at the factory entertainment prop replica of the Wonder Woman Godkiller sword. A 1-to-1 scale replica, 30 inches long, made out of hand-forged alloy. This thing is truly spectacular. For the package, you can see nothing really extravagant. You got a really cool image of the Wonder Woman logo with the Godkiller sword kind of coming through. One thing that's interesting to note, you come around here to this side, and it says limited edition prop replica. Except nowhere on here does it actually say that it's the Godkiller sword. I don't know if that's because, spoiler alert, in the movie, Wonder Woman herself was the Godkiller. So I don't know if they chose not to label that on here or what, but I don't know. But you can see that fairly long package. You can lift it up just like so, and it's got all the foam and everything that it stores the sword in. Now, this being an early sample, I didn't get any of the certificate of authenticity that usually comes with the prop replicas that Factory Entertainment makes. Also a booklet usually detailing the process of how they made the sword. That's not in here. I would imagine that that will be in a final release of it, but just mentioning it just for the sake of mentioning it. Also, I do want to say that this is not a toy. This is, like I said, a full metal replica, and we're gonna have fun with that. So I do want to emphasize that this is not a toy. And what I am going to do in this video, do not do yourself, kids. I'm a trained professional, and not really, just don't do this because I don't want anybody to get hurt. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. But first, let's take a closer look up at my review table so that we can take a look at all the intricate details of it. And then we're gonna come back out here and you're gonna see what kind of fun that I have planned. So stick around. All right, now, like I said, before we go back down and we have some fun, I just want to show you the amazing amount of detail that this has. Now, first, you do get a couple little additional pieces here. This is the display for it. Now, what's really cool is, as you can see, it's done up to look like her shield, and you got a couple pilot holes drilled in here. You get the hardware, and what you do is you like take these little pieces here, you screw those in there, and then you can actually mount this on the wall. You come around here to the back, you can see you got that nice Wonder Woman logo. Here's what the limited edition number would be, obviously, because this isn't a, final production piece. That's not going to have it. And then you got the little hanger right there, which again, you get some nice screws. You get a washer with it, which I really do like. And you get a nail and some screws here, which is really cool, because sometimes it's easier to use screws, sometimes it's easier to use nails. So you get that, but overall, really nice, and I like the very nice gold color that they have on here. So this will display very, very nicely. As for the sword itself, this is truly spectacular. High quality, officially licensed, and what was thought to be, like I said, the Godkiller to kill the God of War Ares, it really does have a very ornate look to it, especially since it was said to have been fashioned by Zeus himself. This was copied directly from the original prop sword with exacting attention to detail to create a 30-inch long heavy-duty replica that, as I mentioned, has been hand forged and made from stainless steel. As you can see, you got some gorgeous Amazonian runic scripts on here, which again was seen on the actual sword itself. You come down here, you have absolute gorgeous high quality gold metal alloy that make up the both hilt and handle. And then what's awesome is you have the mirrored dragon looks that, as you can see, the detail on that is spectacular. You can see it bites down in there, and then it comes around, and then it wraps, and it's like their tail coils around. As you can see, it's slowly sliding out. Watch where my finger is. Watch where my finger is. It's just slowly coiling all the way down to make up the very bottom section of the handle itself. I think it's called the pommel. I'm so not very good with sword stuff, but as you come around here to the bottom, boom, it comes down to the tail, which looks gorgeous as well. But
amazing detail. I want to get in here so that you guys can really get a gorgeous good look at it. I like how they very nicely captured the look of the scale, some nice kind of black wash in there. Obviously the other side is pretty much a mirror image, but then you can see gorgeous engraved lettering throughout the entire thing. One thing that I also really like that they did was you can see it's kind of splattered with this paint in detail. One thing I've also noticed, now this is not a sharp blade. Obviously, because this is a prop replica, they can't sell this as being sharp, but you're going to see just how powerful this still is, mostly due to the overall weight of it. But what's awesome is if you run your fingers along the blade itself, there are actual kind of dings in it. It's meant to do that. That's how they designed this. That's an attention to detail that I absolutely adore. It gives it a very worn and real kind of feeling. It's just amazing. Now you do get this little tip section right here. I'm going to remove this just for the sake of it. It's not going to come in handy later on, but it does come to a fairly sharp point, so you do want to be careful. While you can't really slice bread with this, but you could probably spear someone. But I mean, absolutely spectacular. The detail on it is exquisite. I'm just really blown away. One thing that Factory Entertainment does really well are prop replicas. They haven't done a lot lately, and I'll be totally honest, I wish they would do more. I think that they are one of the best in the market. They're certainly one of the most reliable, at least when they create a prop replica, it basically comes out. I think I only know of one that they weren't able to make, and that unfortunately was the Leonardo sword from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. That's really unfortunate they weren't able to get that. I do remember seeing it, but this is spectacular. Now, for some measurements, as I said, it's 30 inches long, so get the old tape measure out here, and going all the way across to the very tip. It is, it's maybe a little hair. No, almost. It's a hair under 30 inches. It's not 100% 30 inches. It's very close. But it's also very heavy duty. Now, one thing that I mentioned is this is a full tang sword, which means the blade here goes all the way through to the actual handle. So there's it comes down here and then it comes down from the blade. It has like a middle section here that goes through the actual handle. So this is very nicely balanced and weighted. And I want to bring in my scale here. So here's the trusty scale. Here it is. And we're going to put this on here because, like I said, it is heavy. So get that on there. Is that getting the full weight? 2.3, is that right? Yeah, so lifting up my camera so that you can see it. So it comes in at 2 pounds and about 4 ounces, 3.6 ounces, so just about 4 ounces. Now, one thing that I want to talk about is I do like swords. I have collected them for a while. I don't do videos on them because not a lot of people like watching them. But this is Sting from The Hobbit. Obviously, this is the sheath for it. But this is Sting. This is the closest one that I have size-wise. I have Glamdring, I have Orcrist, but this is the closest one to match this. Obviously, it's a lot smaller. But one thing that is very, very different is that I think it's called a rat tail. It comes down and it's a very thin wire that goes through here. So you can feel that the weight is mostly here in the blade, not so much down here. This, because it has that full metal tang going all the way through. I mean, obviously it gets a little bit smaller, but it's still very heavy duty. And because this is also a metal alloy, it balances it very, very nicely. Now, how much does this weigh? This is 1 pound 5 ounces, and you can see there is a size difference here. You're not going to be able to see it. It's maybe 2/3 the length, I would say. Yeah, you really can't see it because it's just here. Let me try holding it sideways here. It's probably about like 2/3 or so. You can see you got a lot extra there. So obviously this is going to be lighter, but it feels like when I'm holding this in my hand, I feel like the blade is pulling it down. I feel like there's no weight here in the handle. That's one thing that these are definitely pieces that you're not going to swing around. You will break this more than likely if you swing around, just because of the little rat tail section that comes in here. It's just very flimsy for the most part, and you can't really use that to have much fun. This has a massive heavy duty weight to it that feels substantial. And I'm really, like I said, because this is not a sharp blade, I'm kind of wondering if I'll be able to slice through some things. I believe that I will, just because of the heft of it. That's just one thing. Instead of cutting through it, I believe that this will just mostly blast through it. So there's the amount of detail that you can see in this. It's simply spectacular. So now let's go have some fun, shall we?
All right, so like I said, this is not a toy, and don't try this at home. This is not, as I mentioned, a sharpened blade, but I just wanted to have fun to see just how good this actually is. So I got a couple things. First, I got a cucumber. I figured that would probably be fairly easy to slice in half. So let's do it. The God Killer is taking out a cucumber. So, oh, well, it sliced the cucumber. Oh. 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 No damage to the sword. That's pretty awesome, to be honest. So, okay, up next, we're gonna try something a little bit harder than a cucumber, that being a pineapple. So, again, here we go. Oh, well, that did not work as well as I hoped. Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh. I also didn't swing it as hard as I wanted to, but in all honesty, set that there. I still sliced it pretty decently. I just didn't swing as hard as I possibly could have. So, hello, I'm Mr. Pineapple Man. All right, now, this is going to be the true test. I have a pineapple, or a watermelon. All right, so, a little bit of a modification to it. Hope you guys like my Wonder Woman shirt, by the way. I put a watermelon here in the bottom to balance this. I'm gonna swing this sucker really hard. Ready? Damn, that was awesome! Oh my god! Did you guys see that? The God Killer. But that's it, guys. That's my look at the Factory Entertainment 1-to-1 scale God Killer sword from Wonder Woman. An absolutely exquisite piece by them. If you're a fan of Wonder Woman, this is a beautiful display piece to have in your collection. As I talked about, metal all the way through, high quality, durable materials, and a prop replica that, let's be honest, could really mess someone up. This is spectacular. So all that being said, if this is a piece that you'd like to add to your collection, it is available for pre-order right now at Factory Entertainment. So for that, I'll put a link down in the video description where you can check that out. You can pre-order yours and be ready to fight evil just about as good as Wonder Woman. But that's it, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. One last message I'd like to say is that I hope you all have an absolute wonderful, wonderful Christmas, a happy and prosperous new year, and an amazing holiday season. For me and all of my little fur babies, thanks for tuning in, guys. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.